700 and almost 5,000 followers on TikTok. And I'm not even going to bring up the other platforms because that pretty much says it all. Kennedy Hart is going to be joining us at SocialCon, and he's so kind to join us here today to share with you all just some of the things that have positioned him where he is in the social world, and also kind of a sneak peek of what you're going to get at SocialCon. So Kennedy, welcome. First of all, I'm glad to have you here. We're glad to have you joining us at SocialCon. Tell us a little bit about your story, man. I know you're East Coaster, moved to the West Coast. Kind of tell us how this all came about for you, and then kind of what they can expect at SocialCon.
Awesome. Well, I just want to start off by saying that I am honored to be one of the speakers at SocialCon. I was looking at the list. I'm like, y'all got some heavy hitters coming to SocialCon. So everybody, make sure you guys got the ticket. It's going to be a great time. I'm super excited. So a little bit about me. Yes, I'm from the East Coast. I was born in New York. I moved to New Jersey, and I started creating content because I had a love for music, and I still have that love for music. But I realized that in order to really promote my musical abilities and my music, social media had to be I had to utilize that a lot, essentially, right? So I started getting into social media just to promote my music, but then I fell in love with content creation, and I received growth at a rapid scale, right? I started posting on Facebook, YouTube, and then when TikTok came around, it was a wrap, right? So I've been able to really express my creativity and really learn a lot about myself and tap into my authentic self. And once I really tapped into my authentic self, that's when I really had that exponential growth on social media. So I decided to move out to LA and further pursue my dreams of being a content creator. However, I've also started helping other businesses and other musicians and other, people in whatever industry you're in. I started helping them grow their business. So this journey has been really cool. I didn't expect to be here, but I'm thankful I'm here. I'm glad I met with, Jeff and Tristan at Drunk on Social, and I'm glad to, get into this event, SocialCon 2023.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. So what would you say if you're talking to just a novice social media audience, and somebody says, how can I duplicate, and I use that loosely because that's really hard to do, but how can I duplicate a fraction of your success on social? What's the advice that you would give to somebody who's just kind of been just doing it here and there and hasn't really found their way, doesn't really understand? What would you say to somebody like that?
Ooh, that's a great question. So there's so many things that go into, experiencing success on social media. I will say, there's a few things that I always tell people to do. Is just one, I feel like a lot of people are afraid to just start posting because they feel cringy, right? But I always tell people, listen, you have to cringe your way to the top. All of your favorite creators, when they first started, their videos weren't that good, right? But now, especially when you experience that growth, you can look back on how much you've grown. And just because it's cringy to you doesn't mean it's cringy to the world. So cringe your way to the top, put out that first video, don't care about what people think, and just get in the habit of building that muscle, that creative muscle, and keep posting. Another thing I tell people to do is how do I want to say this? Identify what the trends are, be aware of what the trends are, but don't feel the need to follow the trends. In order to experience that true exponential growth, you want to set the trends. And that's actually one of the topics I will be going over in my speech at SocialCon, is how to become a trendsetter in your industry, right? So there's a lot of different tricks and tips to help you get to that level, to that mentality. And once you tap into that, you're gonna be surprised about how fast you'll be able to grow. Yeah.
It's awesome. What is your, what would you say is your focus as we carry forward into 2023? Which platform would you say is your number one focal point?
Ooh, that's another great question. So TikTok is definitely my bread and butter. I'll always, that's my first, that's my go-to. That's obviously my biggest platform, right? So I'll always have TikTok in my heart. However, YouTube Shorts, they continuously surprise me with how much they're updating their platform. They have remixes now. Obviously, a lot of these platforms are trying to emulate TikTok, so I feel like my experience on TikTok has helped me. But I will definitely say YouTube is my second biggest platform right now. So I would want to invest more time into, learning and keeping up to date with those features. But I just learned today at the Drunk on Social group coaching that Facebook is making a comeback. So anybody if you're thinking about doing Facebook, I would highly recommend it. Don't sleep on Facebook. Trust me, it's going to be big this year.
Where do you make the most money from a monetization standpoint. So I know that you're not as big on Instagram, so you're probably not monetizing there. You're going to be going back to Facebook. You can monetize there now. So it's between YouTube and TikTok. Where do you make most money just on the monetization?
Ooh, it's definitely TikTok. Like and it's interesting because from a monetization standpoint, like people think, oh yeah, like you need to like I know YouTube, obviously, you know, you get like the watch time, you get paid like per views. TikTok isn't the best for that. Like I'm in the creator fund. I know people, it's kind of like a hot topic. But I will say that TikTok, as far as like me and like my brand, I've attracted the most amount of brand deals. My audience is heavily engaged. So whenever I have merchandise or if I'm doing something, like my audience supports me. So from a monetization point, TikTok is definitely, like I said, my bread and butter. But like I said, yeah, YouTube is next in line. And I definitely want to tap more into Facebook as well as Instagram.
Yeah. Well, now that as of yesterday, YouTube's monetization just kicked off for YouTube Shorts. So that's going to change the game for a lot. Now you have to qualify, which they've got some pretty steep parameters. But for somebody like you with 45,000 subs, I think you'll be able to get there pretty quick. 47,000 subs, I should say. You just got to get to that certain number of how many views in a month or something like that. So I would definitely tell anybody who's had any amount of success on YouTube, now is the time to go heavy on shorts, because you're going to be tapping into that monetization fund that the long formers are taking advantage of now on the shorts, which who knows how big that's going to be. I'm excited to see it, actually.
I'm excited as well.
Awesome. Good stuff, brother. Well, we're excited to have you, man. I'm excited to learn more. I know our audience is going to be excited to learn more. I mean, this is just yet another example for those of you who follow us, who are in a niche industry. And then we know most of you are in real estate. You know, our intent was to invite creators like Kennedy here because we find our success by thinking outside the box. And so for those of you that are thinking to yourself, and you look at these flyers and you look at the graphics, like, I've not heard of these people. Well, that's the point. And so understand that if you continue to swim in the pool where you're just copycatting everything that everybody in the industry is doing, you're going to struggle to grow. You've got to innovate by getting outside the box. And so this is why we designed and conceived this event, so we could do just that. So Kennedy, man, I'm looking forward to it, brother. We're going to hang out and break bread and learn, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see you in LA, brother.
I love it. I'm looking forward to it.